Take a moment to think about the way you view the world.
Most people tend to imagine their point of view as being like a video camera where their head is. However, when you take into account the way that eyes move, this is actually a pretty bad analogy. This is because unlike a video camera, your brain can only process visual information if it's staying still on your retina. Because of this, your eyes have to move in very specific ways depending on whether you're looking at static or moving imagery. When you look around a stationary scene, your eyes make rapid jerking motions from one point to another. These movements are known as saccades. The idea is to minimize the amount of time that your eye spends in transit and maximize the amount of time you have a stabilized image that your brain can make sense of. Saccades are one of the fastest motions produced by the human body. They also occur very frequently, about 3 to 5 times every second in adults. That's over 150,000 times every day. You can feel saccades happening by closing one of your eyes and very gently laying your fingertips over your eyelid. This bump that you feel in the front of your eye is your cornea, the transparent part of your eye that lets light through. As you look around the room with your open eye, the bump will twitch around with each saccade that you make. What's really interesting about these rapid jerking motions is that your brain stops processing visual information while they're happening. This means that you're functionally blind while your eyes are making saccades. Strangely, you don't notice your own blindness. You don't feel like you've missed anything, and you don't notice the blur as your eye switches from place to place.
Now logically, if you can't see anything while you're making a saccade, it should be theoretically impossible to witness your own saccades as they're happening. And this is actually the case.
If you get up close to a mirror and look into one of your eyes, then make a saccade so you're looking into your other eye, you won't notice any motion at all. In fact, you can switch back and forth as many times as you want, and you'll never see your eyes move. To you, it'll always seem as if you're looking straight ahead, but if someone else is looking over your shoulder, they'll be able to see your eye movements very clearly. Since saccades occur very frequently, people spend an average of 40 minutes a day in this bizarre, unknowingly blind state. Saccades are the only way that your eyes will move when you're looking at a still image. It turns out that it's actually impossible for most people to move their eyes smoothly across a static image without initiating a saccade. You can try this yourself by again closing one of your eyes and putting your fingertips very gently over your eyelid, and then holding your other hand open in front of you. If you look at one of your fingers and try to slide your gaze slowly to the next one, most likely you'll fail. Your eyes will refuse to move and then suddenly make a jerk towards the next finger. You can feel this happening with your other hand. Of course, it's not physically impossible for your eyes to move smoothly. When there's a moving stimulus, your eyes don't move in saccades. Instead, they follow it around so they have a stabilized image. For example, if you hold up your finger and wave it back and forth slowly, your eyes will track the finger without jumping. This type of motion is known as smooth pursuit. You can feel smooth pursuit happening in the same way with a closed eye on your fingertips. When your eyes are following something around, you won't feel any twitches.
The cool thing about this process is that your eye isn't simply detecting motion and then following it. Smooth pursuit is actually controlled by a complex process involving attention.
For example, if you're waving your finger around and it suddenly goes behind something, your finger is now invisible and you're looking at a still image where smooth pursuit is normally impossible. However, you can still follow the hidden finger with smooth pursuit for short periods of time. This is because your brain still knows that your finger is there behind whatever object is blocking it from view. In fact, there's even evidence that if you wave your finger around with the lights off, you can still initiate some level of smooth pursuit because your brain is getting feedback from your muscles telling you where your finger is. Both saccades and smooth pursuit are types of eye movements which stabilize an image on your retina.
Unlike a video camera, you can't make your eyes pan. You can't just slide your vision around the room without having something you're trying to stabilize on your retina. Now you might still be thinking that you can make your eyes pan just by turning your head around, but that actually doesn't work either because of something called the vestibulo-ocular reflex.
This is a very close connection between your eyes and your vestibular system, which is in your inner ear and tells your brain where you are in space. The vestibulo-ocular reflex makes your eyes move in order to correct for the way that your head is moving. If you turn your head to the right, this reflex will make your eyes shift to the left so that you're still looking at the same thing. This is very important because it allows you to see things clearly when your head is moving around, like when you're walking or nodding. Like saccades, this is one of the fastest reflexes in the human body.
It takes about 1/100th of a second for your eyes to notice that your head is moving and catch up to correct.
You can experience your own vestibulo-ocular reflex by holding up a sheet of text in front of you. As you're reading, start to jiggle the paper around. You'll find that it doesn't take much shaking to make it pretty much impossible for you to read the text. Conversely, if you hold the paper still and start shaking your head around, you'll see that you can shake your head much more than you can shake the sheet and still be able to read just fine. This is because when you shake the sheet around, your brain has to see that it's moving and then make your eyes track it, which takes much longer than figuring out that your head is moving and correcting your gaze using this fast vestibulo-ocular reflex. Interestingly, this reflex works in all three axes of rotation. This means that it even works, to a lesser extent, along your line of sight. So if you look into a mirror and start cocking your head back and forth slowly, you'll notice that your eye will actually counter-rotate so that it maintains its orientation for a few degrees before starting to spin with your head.
All these mechanisms taken together, saccades, smooth pursuit, and the vestibulo-ocular reflex, basically allow your eyes to keep images stable for as much of the time as possible. And so the way that you view the world is actually quite different from the way that a video camera works. I'd say it's more of a strange slideshow video hybrid than anything else.